Functions Part 3, Section 10D, Function Mapping. We're just going to start with examples. For example, if f is a function with the rule 5x plus 2, okay, we'd say f is a function which maps x values into 2 or more than 5 lots of x values. And I'm going to say that this is blah. Nobody cares about this wording. Okay, just know that that's a function. And that we can specify its domain. So we're saying x, the domain has x integers, and they're the integers 1 through 4. So I know right away that my domain has the integers 1, 2, 3, and 4. Basically, we have some machine f, okay, called f of x. Inside of it, it's working as 5x plus 2, and it only takes the numbers in 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now we need to know if we stick those numbers in, what we get out. So we're going to try it, okay? And right now we'd have an infinite number of things to come out if they hadn't limited our domain to just numbers 1 through 4. So we're going to try it. We're going to find f of 1, 5 times 1 plus 2, and that spits out 7. F of 2, 5 times 2 plus 2, and that'll spit out 12. F of 3, and f of 4. And I'm going to have you finish this before class. But you can see that if you plug in a 1, you get out a 7. So it would map like that. If you plug in a 2, it would spit out a 12. So it would map like that. See if you can finish those 2 before class. And that is just how you make a mapping given a function instead of the numbers. No big deal. Let's look at this. It says, the diagram right shows a function mapping. So here's one. Using set notation, write down the members of the domain and range. Well, we know this is the domain, and this is the range. So for domain, we'd say domain is, and remember this is set notation, we just learned this, is made up of x's such that x, or we could do the little line, either way, x is an element of the integers because they're positive and negative numbers plus 0. And it's the numbers between -2, including -2, up to 1, including 1. The other way to write it would be to say x such that it's -2, -1, 0, and 1. So you could just also list them out. Then for the range, we could say y such that, again, y is an element of the integers. And we have a problem here in that we can't just list it as something to y to something because it skips numbers. It does -1, 2, 5, -4, but what about -3, -6, etc.? So this version doesn't work, and we'd have to just say y such that y is the numbers -7, -4, I'm just putting them in order, -1, 2, and 5. Okay, so that's just using our set notation and connecting it to functions. And it wants us to find the equation of the function. So I'm just going to graph these points. So I'm going to graph the point 2, -7, or sorry, -2, -7, because that's just really the point, -2, -7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 0, -1, 1, 2, and -1, -4. And if you look carefully, it almost makes a line. It doesn't because we're not putting anything else in, but if we put other x's in, it would make this line. So we could find the equation for the line knowing that we're limited by what x's we put in. So if we did the equation for this line, it is y equals, starting at -1, that's my y-intercept, and my slope is up 1, 2, 3 over 1. Okay, so the picture for this actual thing is just the points because we've limited our domain, but this function will make those points. So we could check ourselves. If we plug in a -2, would it spit out a -7, right? -2 spit out a -7. Let's see. 3 times -2 minus 1, that's -6 minus 1 is -7. So in this case, we backward engineered. We knew what went in the machine, and we knew what came out of the machine, and we were able to figure out the workings of the machine. So again, we just figured out that, okay, you can put the numbers -2, -1, 0, and 1 into this machine. Inside it, it has this rule. These are the instructions, and then it'll spit out the following numbers: -7, -1, -4, 2, and 5. Lastly, linear functions. Okay, this is all review. Please skim the section before doing the homework. We will work on this in class next time. So most importantly, that you've watched the videos. If you want to start it, feel free and come with questions. Otherwise, we'll work on it in class. Thank you.